On May 17, 2025, the UFC welterweight division heats up as seasoned Brazilian finisher Gilbert Durinho Burns takes on undefeated rising star Michael Morales from Ecuador. It's a high-stakes clash of veteran grit versus youthful precision, and the numbers are just as intense as the matchup. First up, Gilbert Burns. Born on July 20, 1986, and fighting out of Brazil, Gilbert Durinho Burns stands 5 feet 10 inches with a 71-inch reach, a black belt in BJJ and fierce striker with a wealth of experience and knockout power. His strengths are world-class grappling and submission threat, aggressive striking with explosive power, toughness, grit, and high fight IQ. And his weaknesses are susceptible to damage during prolonged striking exchanges, age and recent mileage from wars with top contenders. Numerology edge. Burns' 2 driver connects him emotionally to the fight, giving him strong, intuitive reflexes. The 6 life path / conductor shows he's a fighter of responsibility and harmony, often the mentor in the cage. His personal year 9, not so supportive, and personal day 4 also not so supportive, but his personal month 5 is supportive. Universal day 4 on May 17th, also not supportive with his driver 2. Burns is strong under emotional momentum, but vulnerable to fighters who bring structured aggression and pressure. Path to victory. Utilize his experience edge early, impose grappling to break Morales' rhythm, and capitalize on any defensive lapses in the clinch or scrambles. And his opponent, Michael Morales. Born on June 24, 1999, and fighting out of Ecuador, Michael Morales stands 6 feet 0 inches with a 79-inch reach, a sharp striker with precise timing, range control, and a cool, composed demeanor inside the cage. His strengths are excellent reach and distance management, unshakable composure for a young fighter, crisp, accurate striking with finishing instincts. And his weaknesses are less tested in deep waters against elite wrestlers, still developing ground game under UFC-level pressure. Numerology edge. Morales has a 6 driver, same as Burns' conductor, indicating he's built with harmony and responsibility. But Morales also brings a 4 life path and conductor, adding structure, discipline, and long-term strategic thinking. His personal year 3 is not supportive, but his personal month 8 and day 7 are supportive. And his life path 4 is in full alignment with Universal Day 4 on May 17th. Exceptional balance, discipline, and an inner calm beyond his years, powerful combo for a rising star. Path to victory. Keep the fight standing, use superior reach to control range, frustrate Burns with counters, and avoid grappling exchanges. Final prediction. Numerology meets technique. Gilbert Burns brings emotional fire, experience, and elite-level grappling. But numerology shows cracks in focus, mental resilience, and long-term energy, factors that align with a potential late fade. Morales, on the other hand, has a structurally complete grid, a stable and disciplined number profile, and his life path for that supports adaptability. Technically, Morales holds key advantages in reach, striking efficiency, and composure. Both technical and numerology edge is in Michael Morales' side, so I'm going to pick Michael Morales over Gilbert Burns. The light heavyweight division gets a fresh jolt of excitement as Brazilian powerhouse Rodolfo Bellato squares off against Scottish submission ace Paul Bear Jew Craig. It's a stylistic clash between youthful aggression and veteran submission savvy, but the numbers offer even deeper insight into this showdown. Fire it up, Rodolfo Bellato. Born on February 5, 1996, and fighting out of Brazil, Rodolfo Bellato stands 6 feet 3 inches with a 79-inch reach, a physically dominant striker with strong pressure, power shots, and an ever-improving ground game. His strengths are physically imposing with KO power, aggressive forward pressure and ground and pound, youthful energy, and improving fight IQ. And his weaknesses are defensive lapses during transitions, can be over-aggressive, leaving openings for counters. Numerology edge. Pure explosive energy and unpredictability, but mental stability and structure under pressure are weak spots. Rodolfo is driven by the number 5 in all aspects, driver, conductor, and life path, making him the ultimate risk-taker. 5s are known for being explosive, unpredictable, and adaptable. His Qua4 enhances his individuality and competitiveness, driving him towards self-mastery and ambition. His personal year, month and day 7, 3 and 2 are supportive, but Universal Day 4 is not supportive. Path to victory. Keep the pace high, pressure Paul early, and avoid prolonged grappling exchanges. Bellato must force chaos, as structured battles favor the veteran. And now, let's talk about his opponent, Paul Craig. Born on November 27, 1987, and fighting out of Scotland, Paul Bearju Craig stands 6 feet 3 inches with a 76-inch reach, a tricky submission specialist with a unique ability to snatch finishes off his back and an iron will to match. His strengths are elite submission grappling, even from defensive positions, veteran savvy and killer instinct, unorthodox style that confuses younger fighters. And his weaknesses are vulnerable in striking exchanges, inconsistent performances when unable to control pace, numerology edge, passionate fighter with comeback energy, but vulnerable to structured aggression and overwhelming pressure. Paul Craig is a triple number 9, a spiritual warrior archetype. This gives him inner intensity, passion, and the ability to rise in emotionally charged battles. But the lack of 4 and 8 in his low shoe grid shows struggles with physical structure and discipline, often reflected in his inconsistent performances. His qua makes him responsible and loyal to his principles, but can become rigid or stubborn mid-fight. His personal year, month and day 2, 7 and 6 are not supportive, and universal day, 4 is also not supportive. Path to victory. Use grappling trickery, bait Rodolfo into mistakes, and attack with submissions off transitions or from bottom. Survive the early storm and capitalize when Bellato slows. Final prediction: numerology meets technique. Both fighters are numerologically volatile. Bellato's 555 screams chaos, while Craig's 999 leans into emotion and passion. Bellato brings youth, fire, and aggression, but lacks internal structure and can unravel under pressure. Craig, while more seasoned, has inconsistent output and a tendency to rely on Hail Mary finishes. Final prediction: the numbers favor explosive energy, chaos, and youth on this day. And both technical and numerology edge is in Rodolfo Bellato's side, so I'm going to pick Rodolfo Bellato over Paul Craig. On May 17, 2025, the featherweight division delivers a thrilling matchup as Nigeria's explosive striker Sodiq Yusuff takes on Brazilian prospect Mairon Santos. Experience meets hunger, precision meets promise, and in the background, the numbers are quietly shaping the story. Sodiq Yusuff. Born on May 19, 1993, and fighting out of Nigeria, Sodiq Yusuff stands 5 feet 9 inches with a 71-inch reach, a disciplined striker known for his sharp hands, excellent timing, and patient pressure inside the octagon. His strengths are precise boxing with powerful combinations, strong fight IQ and defensive awareness, well-conditioned with measured aggression, and his weaknesses are can be overly cautious in close fights, vulnerable to volume strikers who push pace. Numerology edge, strong leadership energy, and sharp decision-making, but vulnerable if forced to adapt emotionally or structurally. Sodiq's 1 makes him a born leader and lone wolf, confident, self-motivated, and direct. He thrives in high-stakes moments but may struggle with adaptability. His qua 7 aligns with insight and strategy, a thinker in the cage. However, the missing 4, 6, and 7 on his low shoe grid reveal vulnerability in long-term structure, emotional harmony, and self-sacrifice, which can lead to hesitation or misjudgment when fights drag. Also, his personal year, month and day 2, 7 and 6 are supportive, but universal day, 4 is not supportive. Path to victory. Keep the fight technical, control tempo with counters, and avoid wild exchanges. Lead the dance without letting Santos create chaos. Mairon Santos. Born on June 10, 2000 and fighting out of Brazil, Mairon Santos stands 5 feet 11 inches with a 73-inch reach, a dynamic, athletic striker with speed, length, and a rising arsenal of techniques. His strengths are a long frame with fast striking combinations, unpredictable movement and creative attacks, youthful explosiveness and cardio, and his weaknesses are still untested against high-level veterans, can be overconfident and leave openings when attacking. Numerology edge, high ceiling, passionate energy, but numerologically unbalanced, risky against structured, composed opponents. Mairon has a 1 driver like Yusuff, confident and bold, but with a 9 life path, which gives him passion, emotion, and the will to finish strong. His driver 1 shows he's still discovering his true rhythm and identity in the cage. His Quan 9 adds responsibility and seriousness, useful in tough fights. But his low shoe grid reveals he lacks several key energies: cooperation, stability, and emotional adaptability, meaning he thrives when things go his way, but may break when forced to grind. His personal year and day 7 and 2 are not so supportive, and Universal Day 4 is also not supportive. Path to victory. Push the pace early, overwhelm Yusuff with unpredictable combos, and exploit any hesitance. He must create chaos and momentum before the veteran settles. Final prediction, numerology meets technique. Both fighters are led by driver number 1, indicating alpha energy, assertiveness, and leadership. But Sodiq's 111 creates a unified and focused energy, while Santos has a mix of 1 and 9, which can be emotionally volatile. On a Universal Day 8, chaos and freedom favor the bold, but only those who stay sharp in a fire. Yusuff has the composure, experience, and numerological consistency to weather early chaos and regain control. Santos is dangerous early, but numerologically incomplete, especially in a grind. Final prediction. The numbers back experience, structure, and clarity under fire. Both numerology and technical edge is in Sodiq Yusuff's side, so I'm picking Sodiq Yusuff over Mairon Santos. The middleweight division sees a clash between gritty veteran Dustin Stoultfus and surging finisher Nursulton Ruziboev. With both fighters sharing November birthdays and unorthodox styles, this battle promises both unpredictability and intensity, and the numbers bring even deeper clarity. First up, Dustin Stoultfus. Born on November 15, 1991, and fighting out of the USA, Dustin Stoltzfus stands 6 feet 0 inches with a 75-inch reach, a well-rounded grinder who relies on pressure, control, and cardio to drown opponents over time. His strengths are gritty wrestling and clinch control, a durable with high fight IQ, good conditioning and composure under pressure. And his weaknesses are lack of finishing threat, can be outclassed by explosive or dynamic fighters. Numerology edge, calm under pressure, strategic, but vulnerable when momentum slips and control breaks down. Dustin's driver 6 shows he's a caretaker in the octagon, consistent, responsible, and dependable. His life path number 1 indicating alpha energy, assertiveness, and leadership, while his driver 6 gives creativity and communication, especially useful in strategic pacing. His life 1 is not well aligned with Universal Day 4. His personal year 8 and month 4 are neutral. Path to victory. Close the distance early, smother Ruziboev with clinch and cage pressure, and wear him down through volume and position. And now, let's talk about his opponent Nursulton Ruziboev. Born on November 19, 1993, and fighting out of Uzbekistan, Nursulton Ruziboev stands 6 feet 2 inches with a massive 76-inch reach, a long, dangerous finisher with knockout power, wild unorthodox strikes, and a killer instinct. His strengths are long-range striking with knockout power, killer instinct and creative finishing ability, physically imposing with surprising agility. And his weaknesses are defensive gaps when charging forward, questionable gas tank and control if dragged late. Numerology edge, intuitive, explosive, and able to channel fight-ending chaos, but numerologically fragile when the pace is methodical or grinding. Nursulton has a driver 1, bold, aggressive, and fearless, combined with a double 7, showing a sharp intuition and mystique. Fighters with 7 energy tend to surprise and evolve mid-fight. His life path 7 adds adaptability and cooperation with Universal Day number 4, good when fighting with composure. But the missing 4 and 5 means structural control, and focus can break when he's pushed or slowed down. Nursulton's personal year, number 3 day 7, are supportive. Path to victory. Keep the fight at range, land explosive shots early, and avoid prolonged clinch or ground battles. Chaos is his ally. Final prediction, numerology meets technique. Stoltzfus brings steadiness and control backed by a nurturing 6-1 numerology with a strategic driver 6, while Ruziboev storms in with a sharp 1-7 profile, a chaotic energy tailor-made for sudden finishes. On a Universal Day of 4, unpredictability and high-risk energy dominate. Chaos, intuition, and raw firepower overcome structure and grind on a volatile Universal Day. Final prediction. Both technical and numerology edge is in Nursulton Ruziboev's side, so I'm picking Nursulton Ruziboev over Dustin Stoultz. Next, the featherweight division heats up as seasoned brawler Julian Rosa steps into the cage against the fast-rising Brazilian dynamo Melquizael Costa. It's chaos versus control, veteran experience versus youthful fire, and the numbers behind the fighters are just as intense. First up, Julian Rosa. Born on July 31, 1989, and fighting out of the United States, Julian "Juicy J. Rosa stands 6 feet 1 inch with a 74.5-inch reach, a lanky southpaw known for wild wars, unrelenting volume, and unpredictable finishes. His strengths are huge featherweight frame with high volume output, aggressive southpaw pressure and submission threats, resilient and thrives in chaotic, scrappy battles. And weaknesses are questionable chin, susceptible to knockouts, defensive liabilities when entering brawls, numerology edge, stubborn, strategic, and mentally strong, but emotionally unstable under relentless pressure. Julian's driver forgives him discipline, structure, and determination, traits needed for surviving high-pressure wars. His double twos, conductor plus life path, reflect adaptability and emotional intelligence, making him a fighter who reads opponents well. His driver 4 is in full alignment with Universal Day 4 but his personal year number 2 not supportive. His personal month 7 and day 6 are supportive. Path to victory: stick and move, disrupt Costa's rhythm, and use veteran composure to bait openings without engaging in wild trades. And let's talk about his opponent Melquizael Costa. Born on September 14, 1996, and fighting out of Brazil, Melquizael Costa stands 5 feet 10 inches with a 73-inch reach, a dynamic striker with athletic explosiveness and creative combinations that can end fights in an instant. His strengths are fast hands, slick movement, and unpredictable attacks, agile footwork and solid striking IQ, confident and aggressive when momentum swings his way. And his weaknesses are can be wild and undisciplined defensively, still growing in grappling awareness and cardio pacing. Numerology edge, raw talent, flair, and creativity with the universal rhythm on his side, but fragile when forced to adapt or dig deep. Driver 5 signals risk-taker energy, while the double 3s, conductor plus life path, show a creative, expressive fighter. With driver 5 you get a wild, unpredictable warrior with the guts to chase danger. Universal Day 4 is so supportive for him, but his personal year 5 also is in full alignment with his driver 5 and personal month 1, and day 9 provides additional support. Path to victory: create chaos early, use explosive feints and angles, and look to break Rosa's rhythm before the veteran can settle. Final prediction: numerology meets technique. Julian Rosa enters with structural energy 4 and emotional depth 2, while Costa surges with risk-taking 5 and creativity 3. On a Universal Day 4, strategy and discipline rules, an energy that directly aligns with Costa's driver fighting style. Rosa may be more experienced, but numerologically, Costa is in perfect sync with the chaos of the day. If he stays composed just long enough to land clean, the numbers and the odds lean his way. Final prediction: both numerology and technical edge is in Melquizael Costa's side, so I'm going to pick Melquizael Costa over Julian Rosa in this one. In this video, we dive deep into the full breakdown of the event, including bios, strengths and weaknesses, and unique numerology-based predictions that you won't find anywhere else. Who has the spiritual edge? Who's aligned with the universal energy of the night? We break it all down, fight by fight. This is my breakdown and analysis of UFC Fight Night Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales full card. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment with your prediction, and subscribe.